Welcome to my rent account lightning show and tell for Sprint 5. These were the goals this sprint. Complete the service definitions or BDDs, prototype the development and out systems, make a decision on the viability of using one account as the login process for customers, finalise what will happen with the Paris payment screens, have a full technical API overview, and usability testing on the prototype. BDDs are practices that aim to reduce misunderstanding between the product owner, developer, and tester. These practices are put together stories, scenarios, and test cases. We built 10 stories and around 30 scenarios. If you would like a better explanation of BDDs, there's a short video that you can watch. The decision was taken not to make My Rent account part of the One account. Instead, we're just going to use single sign-on directly to authenticate customers. We are now dependent on the Citizen Single Sign-On project, which is due to go live mid-December. The Rent account therefore cannot go live until after this date. Once the decision was taken to use Citizen Single Sign-On as the login, we created a login flow for users. There are several possible journeys that a user can take. We'll talk you through these. If they are accessing the Rent account directly, they can choose to log in via Citizen Single Sign-On and get full access to their Rent account information if they have a linked Rent account. If not, they will be passed back to My Rent account to sync their account. They only need to do this once. Alternatively, they can just choose to log in and get really basic information. All they need is their Rent account number and postcode. All they'll be able to see is their current balance and be able to make a payment. If the customer accesses the Rent account directly via Citizen Single Sign-On, they need to click on the Rent account icon on the One Account dashboard. This will link out to the Rent account. If the customer does not have a linked account, they will need to link this first to get all their information. If they have a linked account, they will have full access when they click on the Rent account icon. You can access the demo site via the link provided using the test credentials. Make sure you click on the tick box to be able to access the full site as a Citizen Single Sign-On is not yet activated. Remember, this is work in progress. While most of the functionality is done, we are now working on the look and feel. The Paris payment pages look terrible on mobile devices. User research told us that most customers would like the payment process to be improved. However, any changes we make will impact on all other payment journeys. We're quite limited with what we can do. However, we have created a new CSS file to make the screens look more responsive and made the text easier to read. We've also got rid of lots of useless information on the page. Ricardo, the Hackney front-end developer, has reviewed the CSS and has noticed some issues with the current CSS not loading on all mobile devices. We are working with Kappa to resolve this issue, and then we'll get these changes implemented. The screenshot on the left shows Paris on a mobile device. Apple Safari in this case, which is particularly bad, is partially because the CSS is not loading, which is being looked at separately. But even when that is fixed, it won't look particularly good on a mobile device. So we want to remove everything from the screen that isn't needed and then display what is left in a better resolution so it can be used more easily. An example of this is on the right hand side. This shows the Paris payment screens on a desktop. They look better on the left, but we think it looks even better with just the payment fields. These CSS changes will be made on all the Paris screens, not just the card details screens, so every page will look better. A purchase order will be raised with Civica and the improved CSS file will be applied to them. It isn't clear how long this will take yet, but it could be up to 5 weeks. We have worked to understand where the gaps in the APIs are between the information we need and the managed APIs. A Hackney developer is starting to work to fill in the gaps this week. So here's an overview of what we've done this sprint. We've completed the service definitions, 10 stories and 30 scenarios. The development in out systems is mostly done. The functionality is there. We are now just focusing on the look and feel. We've tailored the screens to be deployed on different devices. We are now compliant with GDPR. This sprint will be working on the look and feel and accessibility. One account viability. The decision was made to bypass Capita and authenticate our users via Citizen Single Sign-On. New CSS files have been created for Paris payment screens. We are working out some issues with Civica and will shortly be raising a purchase order for the work to be complete. The API overview is now complete. A Hackney developer is starting to work to fill the gaps this week. The usability testing was moved to this coming Friday, as changes to the look and feel and the use of single sign-on meant it was better to delay by a week.